tradition. Indianapolis has history. But Bristol has it all. It's fun, it's exciting, it's a challenge to the drivers and the fans here and around the country. Love the high banks of Bristol. Trackside Live is in Thunder Valley in Bristol, Tennessee at the world's fastest half mile, the Bristol Motor Speedway. For the 55th consecutive time, this race has sold out. 160,000 fans will circle this half-mile high-bank racetrack. Hey everybody, Jeff Hammond, Larry McReynolds, Steve Burns, Elliott Sadler got his first Cup win here at Bristol. Glad you're with us, and a great crowd on hand here.
Right. Always at Bristol. We're gonna party down tonight.
Get her done.
That's it.
I love this place.
Do you really?
It's the atmosphere. It's just, I mean, this track does it right. From last night with the parade coming in to just the beating and banging we're gonna see tonight, 500 laps tomorrow night. The fans are right on top of you, 150,000 people.
We
can't go wrong.
We've already had 2 races. The Wheeling Modified Series is here, the Camping World Truck Series. Huge crowd on Wednesday night.
But you know, he was mentioning beating and banging.
Yeah.
You know what everybody's gonna need before it's all said and done? A lot of this right here.
And a lot of it.
That's exactly right.
I don't know if that's
215
near
gallons
enough.
are expected to be used this weekend after this race is all over with to fix the dents and the dings and everything like that as far as the cars are concerned. But Larry, sometimes you can't fix the feelings.
No, you can't. How many times have you heard me say, when you come over in this half-mile racetrack, you better not bring your feelings, you better not bring your emotions, because if you bring them in here, you're going to get them hurt. I think one reason we're going to have beating and banging is how close the field is. How would you like to be Mark Martin? You sit on the pole at a 15:41. That's great, because remember, Mark Martin is just 12 points inside the top 12. But then you're Mike Skinner. Mark Martin ran a 15:41. Mike Skinner ran a 15:79. Loading up and went to the house later on this afternoon. It's that tight, and that's the one reason I think that Bondo that was sitting here is going to be such an important element.
They've already come.
Because the only way you can do it is beat them out of the way.
Elliott, you know, we talked about Daytona having the tradition and Indianapolis, the history and prestige, but what did it mean for you to win your first race here, to win any race here?
Well, I think all 43 drivers grew up racing on short tracks just like this. And, oh, man, I just love looking at that. We ran the 43 that day. We did it on old tires track position, which we're going to see a lot of tomorrow night. But it's like cutting our teeth again. We're racing Saturday night racing. This is all how we grew up. It's no aerodynamics. It's not this guy's got more motor than I got. It's just good, hard-nosed racing. Save your car to the end and go for it. Hopefully good things will happen.
You know what? Pat Trison, your crew chief, gambled that day. You were pitting on the backstretch. I think you went the last 100-something laps without pitting. But you got to give a big attaboy going back a week ago to Ryan Pemberton, the 83 Brian Vickers Red Bull, elected to stay out, ran 51 laps on that last tank of fuel, and they had an opportunity to come back to pit road. But to me, this was the gamble of 2009, because if Brian Vickers runs out of gas, he leaves Michigan probably over 130 points outside the top 12. But by gambling and running those last 51 laps, and when you look at the run they've had over the last month and a half, they are sitting there now just 12 points outside the top 12. And to put a cherry on the Sunday, Brian Vickers finally on Tuesday, after a long several months of waiting, signs a new contract with Red Bull Racing.
I just remember 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were looking at the 83 car and the 33 car going, I don't know if they can make it or not. This season might be done. And here they are, man. They have gotten hot at the right time. I think Bristol's a perfect race with 3 races to go to get into the chase.
And what's amazing when you look at Biffle, Kenseth, and Mark Martin, the good thing about it, all 3 of them qualified in the top 5 when we had qualifying earlier today.
But we run 500 laps.
500 laps.
But right quick, what about the pressure from the guys, even in your teammate, as far as Casey Kane? Because Casey, you know, he's still not locked in.
Right.
He's in great shape, but he's not locked in. What do you sense as far as in the garage area, the pressure?
Well, I think we're checking them off as we finish races. Watkins Glen was a big, we need to get through that weekend with the 9 car. Nothing stupid happened, especially in the last part of the race. Michigan with the fuel mileage, we didn't know how it was going to play out. They played it safe by pitting and stuff by making it. But as we check them off to get them done and kind of keep that little cushion that he has right now to try to get through these races, because he runs very well in Atlanta, he runs very well here and very well at Richmond too. So they were really comfortable for the 3 racetracks that they're coming to, but anything can happen.
And you know what we have for the first time at Bristol? Double foul restart!
Oh, man. We had to bring that up. Oh, God. Oh, God.
A great show tonight. A little bit later on, Richard Childress will join us. Also, Trevor Bayne and David Rudiman with Trackside Live continues from Bristol.
Trackside is presented by new Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines. Brought to you in part by NASCAR Banking, only from Bank of America. Your debit card, your credit card, your driver. Learn more at a Bank of America Banking Center today. And by Suzuki. Live large, drive small.
One of the bright young stars in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, not even 20 years old. Please welcome from Knoxville, Tennessee, Trevor Bayne.
Look at the hat he's got on wearing.
Rocky
Look
Top.
at the
Right
hat.
there. Little Rocky Top.
Oh, yeah.
Rocky
I love
Top.
it. Hey, you missed that, didn't you, Elliot?
No, I watched it
Did
on
you
TV.
see it? He was talking smack to him.
Let me explain one thing.
Explain.
There's for sure 3 things at the top of the list you don't say a word about. Our good Lord, Richard Petty, and the University of Alabama football. Just don't go there.
I didn't go there. I just talked good about this team.
I was listening to your little qualifying interview. I was paying attention.
Hey, you don't have to back down from him, Trevor.
Yeah.
He's not that
Don't
mean.
take
then?
anything from him.
You can outrun him.
That's true.
Plus, I'm tied into this chair with all this.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't coming over there. Don't worry about it.
Great
So you
qualifying.
improved your qualifying, yeah.
Yeah, no, we had an average of like 5.75, somebody told me. So I was like, well, if we're 5th, that improves it. If we're 6th, we're killing it. So we gotta stay there, and luckily we did. So that was a pretty cool deal.
Of all the tracks you've been to so far, which one has been your favorite and which one you think, man, this one's really tough?
The toughest would definitely be Michigan. I mean, there's no lines out there on the track. It's huge. You got all that room to play around with. And, I mean, you just got to figure it out. It takes so much time, and cars are really aero-dependent there. So it took us a few laps, but once we got it down, we were decent. Qualified 2nd there, too. So we'll just work on those runs there, you know, just get the consistency down at those kind of tracks. But my favorite so far has been Bristol. I love this place. It's awesome.
Trevor, you seemingly have adapted so quickly to these cars. Tell people about your background, how you got started in racing.
I started on a dirt bike with training wheels when I was 3 years old. So I got on 4 wheels, and when I was 5, my 5th birthday, got a go-kart. My dad bought it for me, kind of the father-son thing that you see a lot in this sport. But that's how we got our start, was go-karts. I went racing and fell in love with it. You know, it got in my blood and couldn't get it out. So when I was 13, I moved to the Allison Legacy Series, 3/4 scale cars, and worked with Donnie Allison. I think Larry's son Brandon ran those for a couple years too and did really well. So it's a fun series, teaches you a lot. And then moved to the Hooters Pro Cup, Camping World East, and got some big car experience. And now we're here in the Nationwide Series.
You know, Trevor, a little over a month ago, you sat on the pole at ORP and led the first part of that race. And I realize sometimes the calls that NASCAR make is a little bit of a ball strike call, but I felt like what they did to you when the pace car pulled out in front of you was the wrong call, the absolute wrong call. The caution comes out, you're leading the race, you see the pace car pull out, you slow down. I'm not saying Stephen Wallace did anything wrong. I just don't think they should have put you in the back because of spinning out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wasn't worried about it at all when it happened. I was like, well, we'll get our spot back here. The car's not hurt. Didn't feel like a flat spot of the tires. So the actual spin out, I wasn't worried about. It was just when they put us back to, I guess it was around 15th or so, then that's when my throat got filled up with my stomach, and I got worried then. But we recovered all right there, finished 7th. I think we could have maybe stayed in the top 3 if we were up front in clean air. You know, it's unfortunate what happened, but it's racing, I guess. Different things happen, and maybe we'll get that one back sometime.
When you say it's just racing, do you not have a temper? Because, I mean, to me, the guys I've worked with, and I'm sure Elliott Sadler the same way, he would have been a little bit livid after that little situation. And did Jerry Baxter, your crew chief, what was he doing at that point in time to get you kind of like refocused and back your head back in the game?
Him and Ty were chasing the NASCAR officials around. Me and Tyler Green were by ourselves on the radio for a little while. But, I mean, you just got to hold it in, I guess. I mean, I have learned that coming up in racing since I was 5, just to keep your cool, you know. I mean, it doesn't do any good to get all out of shape. I mean, really, it hurts you when you get all bound up and you're not focused on driving then. So we just moved on. I mean, we took what we had. And at the end of the race, I was still waiting on him to put us back in the lead. But we didn't ever get that opportunity. And we just we took what we had there.
Hey,
You know why he didn't get upset? He's mild-mannered, just like Larry.
I was getting ready to say,
no.
I hope he didn't take no lessons away from you.
No, I'm just sitting here
Cool,
thinking,
calm, and collective under most extreme conditions.
he's a lot more mature than we are.
A lot more mature.
All right, more with Trevor Bayne coming up. Hey, to locate campgrounds near the Atlanta Motor Speedway, visit GoRVing.com. You'll also find virtual RV tours, a free DVD offer, and RV dealer and rental locations in your area. Tomorrow on Speed, NASCAR Race Day blasts into Bristol, where we celebrate Mark Martin's 1,000th NASCAR start. Plus, Wendy Venturini gets the real deal with Junior Johnson. NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot, live from Bristol tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern. NASCAR on Speed, be there. It's time to open up that big old shell garage, and we're going to ask Trevor Bayne about qualifying here at Bristol. P5 for Trevor. Take us around here.
Man, the car got real loose on entry there. Then it gets tied up off, but this place is really crazy. I mean, you just got to get after it all you got. Try not to use a whole lot of brake, and get back to the throttle as soon as you can. The car got tight the second lap. I think most people ran their best lap on their first lap there. We did too. But I mean, the car, I think it should be all right for the race here. We really worked on it a lot after practice, changed a lot of things. We went through 3 different front-end geometry setups in practice and finally found one that was really stable there at the end. And we didn't get a whole lot of time to work towards it, but I think Jerry and the whole Aaron's team worked hard to figure out what they could do to make that thing turn good. And it worked good in qualifying there. We made a big improvement, and hopefully it stays with us in the race.
Well, in your young career, you've definitely shown how fast you can run during qualifying. What does Trevor Bayne have to do to kind of use that towards your race trim now? Is it you need to communicate better for pit stops? Is it getting on in and off a pit road? Or what are the things that you're kind of putting at the top of your list for the race?
I think I've just got to learn these tracks, first of all. I mean, never been to a lot of these tracks. Fortunately, I've been here to Bristol, but places like Michigan and Chicago and Nashville that we've never been to, we don't know what the track's going to do. Jerry kind of has that idea, but as a driver, when you got people like Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards out there, they know what's going to happen before it happens, and they can make those adjustments. We don't have that advantage right now, and we're learning. You know, if we need to free it up here for a long run or tighten it up there, we got to learn that and just make all the laps. I mean, that's the key thing. I think here at Bristol, if you make all the laps, you can get you a good top 10 finish probably. So that's our goal tonight.
Talking about racetracks, I understood a couple weeks ago that you and Frankie Kerr and Marcus Ambrose, they took you out and you ran a 410 wing sprint car for the first time on dirt. How'd that go?
That was awesome, man. First time I'd ever been on dirt before, and then they throw me in a 410 sprint car. So it's unbelievable, man. The horsepower, the downforce of the wing, just throw it in there sideways. I got in the back seat with Frankie Kerr, and, man, I was scared to death. I didn't know how I was going to drive one like that. He's a madman, but it was a lot of fun, and Marcus had a good time too, so it was a blast.
Trevor, you know, last year you were doing a driver development program for DEI. You actually were running the Camping World East Series, one up at Thompson. When we got to January of this year, it was like the bad news, the great news. The bad news is you found out that the DEI deal was pretty much over, but you went to Irwindale to the Toyota All-Star Showdown and just about won that race. A good, solid top 5 finish for you.
Yeah, that was a great race. Irwindale, first time I'd ever been there before. A lot of fun, man. You could really move around there, get to the high side. Unfortunately, we got together with Eichler and Hornaday there when that big cluster happened on, I guess it was right after the 100-lap break. But ended up breaking our right front spring in half and lost the spoiler. And came back in and fixed the spoiler, but we couldn't fix the right front spring. So we ended up finishing second with that thing hanging out of the car. Pretty crazy. A pretty good car to be able to maintain that. But like you said, I mean, it was disheartening about DEI, but it was kind of a blessing in disguise, too. I mean, now that we've worked on this Michael Waltrip deal with Gary Bechtel and Aaron's and everybody on board, it's been a blessing in disguise and a great opportunity.
Trevor, is it difficult for a young guy like yourself, excuse me, to keep your expectations, I guess, realistic? You know, racers want to go out and lead every lap. win the pole, lead the race, win the race. So is it hard for you to keep your expectations reasonable?
It is, man, especially with the qualifying effort that these 99 guys have put behind me. I mean, we went to Nashville at the first race, and I was expecting maybe a top 15 qualifying effort and hopefully stay around there in the race. And we ended up qualifying second and ran top 10 all night till the very end. And that really bumps up your goals. I mean, you raise your expectations, and we carry that every week. And so far, we've met that in qualifying, but we really got to get our race runs up there. And it's just experience. You know, I got to learn every time I go to the track and just get better and make all the laps. That's the only way you can learn and follow these guys around. I mean, there's some great drivers out there in the Nationwide Series, ton of Cup drivers, and just got to learn from them.
Well, speaking of Michael Waltrip Racing, David Rudiman drives for that team as well. He's going to join us. We'll talk about his first Cup win at Charlotte earlier this year. Stay with us. It's been a great season for David Rudiman. He comes to the Bristol Motor Speedway 16th in points. The big note of 2009 is he got his first career series win at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Please welcome David Rudiman to Trackside Live.
I'm a confused man. You've got the Dollar General uniform on, and your man over here's got the Aaron's uniform on.
Yeah, he got me fired out of the 99 car.
Fired?
Yeah, we got. Matter of fact, you know, speaking of Dollar General, I got the boss man from Dollar General back over there watching Trackside. I mean, how many heads of large corporations show up and just come and hang out with the race team? I don't think not too many.
No, not too
I think
many
that's pretty special that they're here today.
No, I think it's real
Very,
special.
very cool. And
No pressure on you, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
and I go out there and qualify dead
I was
last
gonna
with
say,
the
you
thing.
got your work cut out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long night, I'm afraid. Don't look at me, Hammond, like that.
No. I'm going to tell you right now. Since you're kind of like you're Darrell Waltrip protege.
Yes.
So you know his philosophy always was you look better coming than you do going. So you can't go any further back. So the only way you can go is forward.
The only thing behind me is, unfortunately, is the tow truck at this point right now. And
so you got a little motivation right there.
a little bit of motivation, yeah.
You're going to be all right.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
My boy out-qualifies me every daggone weekend, and maybe I'm just not that good anymore.
It has something to do with age.
It doesn't. Dang it, man. I used to thought I was okay with this deal.
They still get us confused, though. On the way up here on the golf cart, I got called David Rudiman like 37 times. I guess it's a suit or something, but what in the world, man?
Well, I understood that they actually took his suit and gave it to you. Is
They
that
did.
true?
It's just got my name on the belt.
I looked way better in it, though.
Took you right and a suit.
You know what, David? You were talking about age, and that's a great lead to my question. Because here's Trevor, 18 years old, just getting his start. And I know people are getting so caught up in the young guys right now. You know, if you're not 18 to 22, you're not going to make it trying to break in the Cup. You broke in the Cup at a very late age. Your first starting Cup was at 35 years old, and obviously it's worked out pretty good for you. Here you are right on the brink of trying to make the chase. You've won the Coca-Cola 600. It's been good getting late start.
It certainly it's been very good. I would have rather done it like Trevor and some of the other guys do, get a little earlier start, a little bit better of a run at it. But I mean, if you look at a guy like Mark Martin, I mean, I'm not comparing myself to Mark Martin, but let's face it, that guy's still able to get it done.
Got a lot of years left.
Yeah, exactly. He's still going really, really good. And the reality of it all is if you want it bad enough, man, and age is just a number, and you hear that a lot, and you hear the older guys saying that a whole lot more than you do the younger guys. But again, I'm just blessed to have the opportunity with Michael Waltrip Racing and do some races with Braun and stuff like that, and with Dollar General. It's a really neat gig.
If it makes you feel any better, Steve and Jeff and I found out today that we were born before Hawaii was even a state.
Wow, that's pretty big right
We
there.
found that out today.
Puts it in perspective, doesn't
It
it?
certainly does.
Thank you, David. Hey, time now for our Inside Sprint Cup mobile feature. We've talking to the guys about racing here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Let's talk to some more about the world's fastest half mile.
My favorite track is by far Bristol to race on. It's not too often you go to a half-mile racetrack and you have three-wide racing.
Side by side for the lead in fourth.
I like the old school racetracks, Bristol and Darlington and Charlotte, Dover. I mean, those tracks really feel like, even though they've been repaved some, they still feel like, they're the historic old racetracks.
Great Sprint Cup action here tonight, the Sharpie 500.
Bristol, kind of like being in a parking lot and trying to drive through it as fast as you can without hitting anything. I mean, it's tight. There's a lot going on, and You know, as much as people say that, you know, you watch for the big one at Daytona, you kind of always will have to watch for it at Bristol too, because there's just not a whole lot of time to react when something happens.
Oh, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars involved in the wall.
The new surface they have has made it racier than it's ever been in the past. So, you know, I only got to race on the old surface a few times, but it's definitely new and improved.
55th consecutive sellout here tomorrow night. Spending time now with David Rudiman and Trevor Bayne. And Trevor, the other thing that we talked about expectations. I want to follow up on that by asking you about the pressure. I mean, you're racing against some of the best guys, best drivers in the world. And, you know, we kind of joke and have fun because we love the sport, but there's some real pressure on you.
There's a little bit. I mean, we only got 12 races to prove ourselves this year, you know, which it's not a bad number. It's pretty good to work with, but we got to make a stand here in the Nationwide Series so we can work on that full-time ride for next year. But it's fun racing with those guys, though. David Rudiman and all those guys that come over from the Cup side, that makes it fun because you get to compare yourself a little bit. You know, how would I compare on that next level? And, you know, you feel the pressure, but, you know, we're still racing. It's our dream job. God's blessed us to be here this weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway, and it's a lot of fun. So, I mean, you kind of got to weigh that out. Hey, I could be going to college right now, which, I mean, I would still like to do that. But, you know, you got the pressure of classes in, or you can have the pressure of going out here and driving race cars around, and I think I'll take that second one.
You brought up a cool name a little while ago, Gary Bechtel, who actually discovered me back in 1996. So that's pretty cool. He's still around doing that. But has he sat down with you yet and talked about maybe your future, what's on the horizon, what we're going to do in 2010, 11, and 12? Have you had that discussion yet, or are you just kind of playing it week to week?
Yeah, man. Gary, he's a great guy, like you said, and I forgot he worked with you. That's really cool. He's an awesome person to work with. I mean, he's a lot of fun to be around, and he's not all business all the time, but when he sits down and talks business, he's serious. You know, he puts the game face on, and him and his son, Blake and Brian, are both involved, Blake mainly, but we've been sitting down for the last couple of weeks trying to figure out what we're going to do next year, and my dad just got back from California, actually, him and Danielle Randall-Bauer with the Crew Chief Club. She's been a big part of this, helping put it together, and Ty Norris as well from WR. So, I mean, they've all been working really hard together to figure out what we're going to do to take that next step to next year to take on the Nationwide Series full time.
Good. You know, he kind of looks like Lane Kiffin.
I'm proud of him for wearing it. I am proud of Trevor Bayne for wearing that hat.
You can wear that hat with pride until about mid-October, and I promise you will wear
I think you should sing Rocky Top. Well, hey, how you like that? Well, Rocky Top. Huh?
Yeah. I bet they know how to sing it.
From Alabama, action speaks louder than words.
Trevor, thanks a lot for spending time with us. We
very much
so.
At least I'm not a Gators fan like you, though, Larry. Right?
I like this guy. I like this guy. Looky there, turncoat.
Somebody in our tape department does way too good of a job.
All right. Thanks a lot, Trevor. More with David Rudiman coming up a little bit later. We'll be joined by Richard Childress here on Trackside Live. Stay with us from Bristol. Stay tuned to NASCAR 7 days a week with in-car audio, live race radio, stats, and more with NASCAR Sprint Mobile. It'll change the way you experience the race. Visit sprint.com/speed to find out more only on the Now Network. Seven top tens and a win thus far in this 2009 season for David Rudiman. Glad you're back with us here on Trackside Live from the Bristol Motor Speedway. And I can't help but notice we've been joined.
Wait a minute.
We lost one, we gained one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Kinda. I don't.
This show is going to the dogs.
Four of us in these colors.
Hello, gentlemen. Nice to see you.
And he took my notes.
These are my notes, Elliot. You know that. You borrowed them earlier.
Really?
Okay, maybe they're your
Oh,
notes.
the truth finally comes out.
Now we
Good
know
to
where
be up
Elliot's
here with
getting
you
his
guys.
notes.
Why are you here, by the way?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, earlier this week, I was invited, I would say, by David Rudiman to engage in a friendly competition. What I didn't know is that David is a fierce competitor on and off the track.
You invited him?
Well, he showed up. I'm not exactly sure.
Why don't you guys check it out? Tell me what you think.
Okay.
I think I did pretty well. So David Rudiman, we're at a grocery store. You have a race car cart and a fire suit. What are we doing?
Well, Lowe's Foods is going to be on my nationwide car, the 99 car for the race at Charlotte. So I figure it's more fitting to come here to a Lowe's Food store and have a shopping cart race with you. Look at my ride right here. It's even got Lowe's Foods on the side, number 99. On your mark, set, go.
Oh, on the turn. Oh, on the turn. Hey, Dave, you want to get this?
Hey, what you got?
Something bigger.
You gonna pay for these, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, thanks.
Oh, come on, man. Don't blow up. What's having a snack?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Rutledge, I think the problem was the size of your cart.
Right.
You think you might could win if you filled this one up.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
With the motor and everything. He didn't
That
have to
would have been a
run.
little more fair, you know? David stuck me with the shorty. It was a great
He only
cart.
gave you what he thought you could handle, and it pretty much showed you couldn't handle it.
That was a little more, actually, I thought, than he was able to.
That's what I'm saying.
Once
I thought
again,
you did a
Rutledge,
good
you have
job.
showed what a great sport that you are.
Thank you. I thought, I just want to say that at least I was dumped by David Rudeman. You know, he picked up my cart and slammed
So
it.
now you and Ryan Newman have something in common.
Oh!
I bet you kept all those cupcakes too, didn't you?
I didn't even have that written down.
Wow.
That was.
What's that?
Just kidding, pal.
I got to go. This is too much.
Are you guys going to do the same favor when you have somebody else on that maybe would have that took care of me? I
Pretty
mean,
much so.
I don't think you're going to do it. I'm going to hold you to it.
All right, you got it.
Nice. Look at the watch on that guy.
I know. He worked for Darrell Waltrip too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
a lot of money there.
Let's
lot
go
of
back
money.
and talk serious. Let's talk serious. You guys gained some points last week, and you got yourself back in where, you know, mathematically, you're not out of this chase with 3 races to go.
No,
You know,
we're
and
not.
so
It's tough. It's going to be tough, though.
why?
Well, I mean, it's just a situation where we got to make up a lot of ground. We got to run extremely well, and the other guys got to have bad races. That's what it comes down to. And you hate to look at a competitor and say, man, you know, he's got to have a bad race in order to get up there. But the reality of it is, we just need to do what we need to do, and you know, run like we did at the beginning of the year. You know, finish as good as we can, and if it's meant to be, it's just going to be meant to be, and it's going to happen. You know, that's the way you got to look at it. And I'm really proud of my team and Aaron's and everybody. They've done such a great job this year. We've come so far. We got some more ground to cover, but everybody, Michael Waltrip Racing's done a great job, man. And I tell you, my cars are way better than they ever have been, and I'm really proud of all my guys.
Great commercials, too, with the chicken wing stuff all over you.
Yeah, you know, actually, one day I'm going to actually possibly get to talk in a
I was going to say, are they ever going to give you a speaking part?
And not as long as Michael Waltrip's in the commercial. I'm not going to help talk.
No, Michael, he's going to hog all the speaking parts.
We actually have a script, and when we show up, and Michael's like, no, we're not doing any of this. And then we kind of make up.
That's what happens every Monday night. It's me.
Exactly. So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Script, format, doesn't matter.
Nothing. David, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Good luck
tonight.
tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, coming up, legendary car owner and former race car driver Richard Childress will join us here on the stage at Trackside Live from Bristol. Trackside is back at Bristol. The Prilosec OTC Barbecue Shootout Series has made its way to the Bristol Motor Speedway. Let's check in with Rutledge Wood for an update from the grill area.
Oh, it's delicious. Amazing. Good. Great.
You know, great barbecue doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of prep, and a lot of the right tools to make it all happen. And today, for the Prilosec OTC Barbecue Shootout Series, I'm going to show you behind the scenes on how all our competitors get it done.
Very good. Spicy, just right the right amount. Barbecue and beer and racing. All those go together.
Really good. Love it. Yeah.
Let your just mind wrap around it.
Awesome. It's the best I've ever had.
Best barbecue you've ever had.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. From Texas.
So here's how it works. Once you try the free barbecue, you come over here to the tent and you vote for your favorite. That's how we figure out the fan favorite. There's a huge trophy. Who's it gonna be? I can't tell you, I don't know.
Best barbecue I've ever had.
No way.
Really.
Good, very good. Now the sign says do not touch, but I'm about to get my hands all over some ribs.
The best I ever had. I am a civilized hillbilly redneck in it at the race. In Bristol!
You should probably look away. Broccoli, you gonna finish that?
Yes.
What's the most important thing that you bring out for an event?
My barbecue sauces and seasonings.
So what's the most important thing that you bring to a competition?
Tequila.
Carrots. What would you compare that to?
What I cook at home?
Today's barbecue event is proud to support the Speedway Children's Charities. To learn more about these worthy causes, please visit speedwaycharities.org. And joining us now here on the speed stage at Bristol, we are privileged to have Richard Childress. In fact, one of his race cars is sponsored by Prilosec.
What's your involvement with that, Richard? Do you get to cook or you just get to taste test the whole time?
Well, we've had several events this year, and I've been able to just taste test, and man, I'm telling you what, it would be hard to pick a winner because you go out there and you eat that barbecue, and everybody, I think just like race teams, they work harder as the year goes on to get better and better and better, and man, they had some good stuff here.
Now, while we're on the subject of barbecue, we know that Lexington, North Carolina, right there near Welcome, is the barbecue capital of North Carolina. And what my understanding, I think I've got my story straight, Richard, is there's a trophy, a pig trophy, that you drug up here from Lexington. All the drivers in the field tomorrow night is going to sign this trophy. It's going to go back for your Fan Appreciation Day, auctioned off, I guess, and the proceeds will go to the Childress Institute for Pediatric Trauma. What's this trophy all about?
Well, what the city of Lexington each year gets different businesses to purchase pigs, and that money goes to another area. But we're going to have this pig signed, and we're going to auction it off at our 40th anniversary on October 22nd. And we're going to have a great time there, Larry. It's just going to be fun. We might even have you up there since you're one of them old guys from RCR.
He needs to buy the pig.
I think that's the Thursday before the Martinsville race.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing about it. It's and all the proceeds. We're going to have a neat time. We're going to do a deal with. Here comes some barbecue. This is probably the winner.
Boys, Richard asked me if I just bring you guys. I know it's tough to always watch those segments. Richard and I get to taste a lot. So what we got 3 different barbecues: wood chicks, Lotta Bull, and Texas Rib Rangers. You got ribs, you got brisket.
Hey, there's enough bull up here already.
That's some good-looking stuff, though.
I just thought, for once, maybe share. You guys have a little something.
Yeah.
Have my guy to bring the Prilosec OTC
we'll
up,
bring
because they're going to need some after.
And you know what else we need your guy to bring, Richard?
Please.
You know what else we need your guy to bring?
You gonna have
a little bit of that Childress wine.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're not going to
little wine.
I'll have this one.
Well, thank you, Rutledge. We appreciate the teamwork. More with Richard Childress. Trackside Live continues.
Thursday, don't miss Big Block Thursday on Speed. 3 big hours of races, chases, and crashes with Pinks all out at 8, then jacked at 9 and wrecked at 10. Got plans Thursday night? Well, you do now. Big Block Thursday beginning at 8 Eastern only on Speed.
With authority, Elliott Sadler.
Thank you.
Just crushes the promo.
How about that?
I got
That
one
was
quick
nicely
question
done.
for Elliott. We got some dirt cars after watching you qualify today. I think you need to drive one of our
Help
dirt
me,
cars.
please. I've tried to ask Harvick to let me drive his. He won't let me, and I know you got some.
Yeah.
Do you think your grandkids would mind if I...
You were auditioning today.
Man, that's as loose as I can drive one without hitting anything.
Yeah, you did good.
I'm glad I kept it straight. But, it's 500 laps. We have to use some pitch strategy and get back in the middle of this thing. So we'll see what happens.
Whoa.
Yeah, Jeff
No cushion up there.
He was really looking.
I was looking for the cushion. I couldn't find it. I didn't have my contacts in.
Richard, I was curious about your grandson's development. Saw him at Michigan International Speedway, and it looks like he's got some talent. What's your feeling about his young career?
Well, I have 2 grandsons. I got the other one, Ty Dillon, and Ty, he won 11 races last year in the dirt series, and Austin's done a great job. We're just kind of easing them into it. Austin started school. He moved into college today over at High Point University, and so he's wanting to do that, but they're all wanting to race, but we keep telling them how important their education is.
You know, Richard, we've talked about the 40th anniversary of Richard Childress Racing that started in 1969. I don't think a lot of our new fans even realize Richard Childress, the driver, 187 starts, 56 top 10s, always trying to really race the points situation. But in 1981, sponsorships were tough to come by. And you were at a fork in the road. And you had a young man that had a sponsorship in his pocket by the name of Dale Earnhardt, and you handed the steering wheel over to him, and obviously it worked out pretty darn good for everybody.
Yeah, and it was a tough thing to do. We started in '69 at Talladega when they had the big boycott. That's when we actually really started to run the Cup side of it. Back then it was Grand National, and I could see all the big money coming in with MC Anderson and Hodgdon and Rainier and all these guys coming, and I knew I couldn't make it. So at that point, we took and I got out of the car. Dale got in it. We had a great relationship before, and all the way through those years, as you know, we worked together, and it was something I'll always cherish. You know, being honored to work with Dale. I never looked at him working for me. I always looked at all of us working together, and that's the relationship we had.
Richard, you talk about something you cherish. How did it make you feel as far as the Hall of Fame? I mean, right now, NASCAR's getting ready to have their Hall of Fame, and you are one of the guys that a lot of people think deserve to be in that Hall of Fame, rightly so. But, I mean, how does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, for a kid that started out with a $20 race car and didn't finish high school and just worked and had a dream, and only in America could you accomplish what I've been able to do. And I didn't do it by myself. I had so many great people, and still do today have great people around me. But it's quite humbling to be named along the greats that I sit there and watched at Bowman Gray Stadium and a lot of places when I was a kid.
I got to ask you something as a fan. When Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona 500 and Larry McReynolds sitting on the box was one of, I think, the coolest things as fans could watch and see. What did that mean to you personally to be able to give that to him?
Well, it was so rewarding, as Larry can tell you, because we had tried so many times, and I think I looked over to Larry and I said, a few laps to go, I said, we've been here before, So, we've lost them on the last lap in the middle of 3 and 4, but to see the look on Dale Earnhardt's face when that race was over was rewarding for a lot of things that we've accomplished in our career.
Well, funny story, my first Daytona 500 with Richard and Dale was 1997, and we had a real up and down day on pit road. We had some issues with some pit crew members on race morning, but we finally overcame it, and we took the lead with about 25 laps to go. With about 17 laps to go, I looked at Richard and I said, what do you think? He said, been here too many times. With 11 to go, we were upside down, sliding down the back straightaway, and I totally understood what he was trying to tell me at that point.
It was so rewarding to see Dale win that race because I knew what it meant to him. He really wanted to win that race and to put that crown jewel on top of everything he had accomplished. And he had won 20-some races, I think, there. But to win the 500 was very, very special for all of us.
In fact, that first 500, you know how he'd take your collar and talk to you that way? That first 500, he told me, he said, Larry Mack, if you'll just get me near that son gun leading this race, he'll be a screwed-up individual.
And he would have been.
But let's spin forward then. Kevin Harvick wins the Daytona 500 in very much a dramatic fashion. Any difference between the win with Dale and the win with Kevin?
Well, I think they were both very special because anytime you can win a Daytona 500 is really special. And the way he won it that night, I was too busy looking for the caution flag because I didn't know if they had threw it and who won the race. And my grandson Ty jumped up and said, "Hey, we won." So then I was really overwhelmed.
Was that after you looked and saw, was it Clint Boyer was coming up upside down?
I'd never seen Clint. I was watching those guys. But I want to say something. Jack Daniels has been a great sponsor, and they were sponsoring that car at night. And they have a salute to our troops here this weekend. And I tell you, what our troops are doing for America today, we cannot say enough for what our troops are. And I'm so proud to carry that for our troops.
Well, like I say, you've been overseas and visited the troops in Iraq and Germany and Kuwait and different places like that right there. So we know you're a great supporter of not only our military here in the United States, but abroad. So it's a great thing.
Yeah, and none of us would be here enjoying what we are tonight.
Y'all got a big stuffing party tomorrow where you're going to be stuffing bags to send over to our troops, right, Richard?
Yeah, and that's going to really be neat. You know, when you can, like Jeff and I were there several years ago over in Iraq, and to see those troops and see how they don't complain about nothing, and they're over there to do a job for us, and it's just amazing. So what we can give back to them and what we can say, if you see a military man or lady, say thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Say thank you.
Well said.
More with Richard Childress when we come back. We'll head to the Lazy Boy Lounge. Stay with us here on Speed.
Trackside is presented by new Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines. Brought to you in part by Go RVing. Go affordably. Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com to get started on your road trip adventure. And by Cheerios. Good for the heart.
When we join you next, we'll be in Richmond, Virginia. Brian Vickers trying to get into the chase. After a win at Michigan, will be with us. You can see that at 11 Eastern. We won't be at Atlanta because there's no on-track activity that Friday. Back with Richard Childress in the Lazy Boy Lounge. And RC, I was thinking the first time I went to RCR, your shops, it was in 1985, and it was a pretty humble place. I mean, it was professional, but I remember a lot of wood paneling, and there weren't that many mechanics there. But what you have built from the beginnings, as you said, when you raced yourself, pretty amazing.
Yeah, you know, I've really been fortunate. We built that shop in '85, and it was, at the time, it was a pretty neat-sized shop for the time. And then as times grew, we got where we needed to build more and more and more, and now we got over 500,000 square feet, and it's pretty neat when you walk through and you see all the things and all the people working. And when we have Fan Day on October 22nd, we're going to open everything up for the fans to come and look, and all the proceeds from that will go to the Childress Institute.
Richard, I may have even shared this with you. I think at Phoenix earlier this year, after the Martinsville race, I was driving back down towards Charlotte and went on the highway right by Childress Vineyards. And it made me stop and pause to think about how much you have accomplished. In racers, I've learned one thing about racers in 25 years, and that is you guys are always looking ahead to the next practice, the next race, the next sponsorship deal. But have you taken pause to think about what your life has become, as you said, from a guy who had a $20 race car?
Not really. You know, I'm humbled by a lot of things around me that I've been fortunate to be a big part of. But it's all about the people you surround yourself with, and I've been very fortunate. My biggest break was hooking up with Dale Earnhardt and Jim Goodwrench to sponsor us, and Shell, and all of the great companies, Cat, Jack Daniels, all the great companies in General Mills today. It's all about the people you surround yourself with, and I might have been a truck driver on the highway or something if I didn't get the breaks and take advantage of them at the time.
Richard, you talked about dropping out of high school, and yet you've been not only successful as a racer, but as a businessman. And I know you mix easily with the media, and not just internally with your team, but with the media, and then as the sponsors, as you talked about. You've done so well on the business side.
And I think that's one of the things that Dale Earnhardt and I had in common was both of us, you know, unfortunately didn't finish school, and I would recommend all the children today, no matter what you do, that's the number one thing you need to do is get your education. Like I'm teaching both of our grandsons today to go to college and go further. And, you know, I've just been fortunate. You know, I learned a lot of learned a lot of street smarts. The people I was around, great businessmen in my early days, and they taught me a lot of things, and I got to contribute it to the people that taught me a lot of stuff.
Well, Richard, you've given a lot back to the sport of NASCAR. Thank you for everything that you've done and contributed to making this sport a huge success. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and it's I'm just honored to be here, Ben.
All right, thanks, RC. Thanks to Larry Mack, Elliott Sadler, Jeff Hammond, and thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.